Today on Hillbilly Voodoo, we're going to smack the stupid out of you with this fence post. But first, we're going to show you some alternatives that you could use this fence post for. Maybe some building materials. Stick around, see what type of Hillbilly Voodoo we do with this stuff.
So I've recently been asked by one of the people that I go and collect ground obtainium from, why am I always picking up old random pieces of lumber? Well, I realized yesterday that my demographic on this channel is probably people that are trying to build stuff and maybe save some money doing it. Well, the reason I pick up lumber, scraps of lumber, pallets, things like that, is because pretty much every building that I build is built out of recycled material. So I decided I'm going to show you guys some of the buildings that I've built for sheds and animal enclosures that are 100% made from recycled materials. You'll have to excuse the noise in the background. We got some goats that are currently thinking it's time to procreate, which is stupid because they don't have the gear to procreate with. But yeah, and ducks that think that that's a good thing to do too. So this here is our duck house. Now, this duck house is built out of fence posts. And you say, well, fence posts are pretty expensive. No, this is built out of fence posts, square posts, that were a fence for over 20 years. The bottoms ended up rotting off. So about the bottom 3 feet are no good. The fence fell over. And pretty much all the boards that are on this building were old fence boards. We pulled them home, pressure washed them, cut off the rotten parts. That's the materials for that duck house. I'll show you what the inside looks like here. Pretty much all the fence posts were 4x4, just a standard fir or mixed species post that we ripped in half to make the doors, the boards for the doors. We just ran them through a table saw, made them skinny. We ripped them in half for the boards. You can see there's another old fence post there. That's holding up the inside. All the plywood on the inside was the boards from around an old hockey rink that was being torn down. So we scavenged some of those. Windows, I believe those were on the side of the road. Scavenged those. So there you go, it's the inside. It's full of cobwebs right now. Doesn't matter how often you clean the cobwebs out of this place, it's full again. Anything the ducks can't reach, they can't eat. So that is one alternative for you for materials. Fence posts. I actually got paid to haul these fence posts away. The person was kind of mad because their fence fell down. They didn't want to have to deal with it. So they paid me 50 bucks to take what was left of the fence apart. And I built myself a duck house out of it. The roof, that was a neighbor's barn that he replaced his roof on. So we managed to scavenge some pieces out of that roof that were big enough for covering our building here. Now, by no means is recycling free. You have to go get the materials, which is going to cost you your time, your labor. You have to pull the nails and stuff. So it takes time, but material wise, I guess it is free. So let's go show you some other alternatives to the buildings around here. Now these here are an excellent source of materials. You're probably looking at this saying, oh, what a bunch of garbage this is. Well, these are the shipping containers, pallets, whatever you want to call them, that snowmobiles come in. They're usually around 8 to 10 feet long. Well, most of them are 1x4s, and they're a rough cut lumber, and they're usually held together with these little goofy strap thingies here, and with just a staple type material like those. So they come apart extremely easy. And most motorcycle shops or snowmobile shops, power equipment shops, they don't want to deal with them. They have huge stacks of this stuff. They got to pay to take it to the dump. And if nobody comes and picks it up, they are usually really excited if you come and grab them from them. And if they're not excited, well, you can go find another motorcycle shop that probably will be excited to give you their mess. And I'll show you what I build out of these. Now, all those 1x4s can be laminated, nailed together into 2x4s. Yeah, takes a little bit of work, but once you pull nails out of them, stick them together, you make 2x4s. Then those boards can also be ripped in half and used for the cross or for the walls. This shed's full of junk. Now the roof trusses, those were all created out of those, I guess they're shipping crates for snowmobiles. And I even reused the little plates for the trusses. You can find plans for your roof trusses on the internet. They're like everywhere. So you just, the size of the building that you want, you just plug her in there and it'll show you how to build a truss. The floor of this shed, can't see much because it's full of motorcycle parts, but those were all pallet boards, the shipping pallets. There's 4x4 shipping pallets that have been screwed together to create the floor of this, and then they have boards going across the top of those to create the floor. Did that make sense to you guys? I sure hope it came out of my mouth making sense. But anyways, now pallets also. You don't want to pull the nails out of pallets because they're a pain in the butt. You can use those pallets. You just take your circular saw and you rip between the nails. Now you have shingles. They're not very long, but they're long enough to make shingles out of for your walls. This building isn't finished yet because I haven't gotten any more pallets, and yeah, there's been other projects on the go, but you'd never know that that was built out of pallets, would you? Kind of looks like something you would pay money for. Now, behind those shingles is lumber wrap. Yeah, the lumber wrap at the lumber store that they throw out, that's what's behind it. That whole shed right there, 8x8, that whole shed cost me $6 for screws. Now, if you were to go to Home Depot or one of those places that sells those sheds, recently I just saw one for $2,800 with the shingles on it. Looked exactly the same. Well, it was finished, obviously. This one isn't, but exactly the same looking. Yeah, that one didn't cost me nearly nothing. Now, another resource. Like I said, fences. Nobody ever thinks about fences. These boards have been sitting on a fence for over 25 years. That fence has been there since we moved into this place. 26 years ago we built it. You say those boards are ugly, they're all rotten, they're all crappy. Well, no, they're painted. Yeah, they don't look super spectacular, but they're solid. They're not rotten, they're not touching the ground. They're good boards, and I'll show you what those boards can be turned into. Those exact boards are the boards that you're looking at right now. We stripped down part of the fence about probably 10 years ago now, and run them through the planer, pulled all the paint off of them, and so Suji bond them. And nobody knows what that means. It means you take a torch and you burn the board till it turns brown or black or however dark you want it. And now they are the outside boards on my studio. Yeah, free wood. Never even thought about it. That probably would have went to the dump or would have got burned in a pile. But now it's been recycled into this building, which is, I think it's over 10 years now. Anyways, another idea for siding for you. Yeah, looks like fish scales, don't it? It's kind of neat. When we replaced the roof on our house, we had the roofing, the aluminum roofing, had screw holes all over in it, had pinholes from, well, being up there for 30 something years. The pieces that were too bent to reuse for anything else, well, I just cut a little U shape out of them, made scales. Some people really like it. Well, actually pretty much everybody that's come by and seen it in person really likes it. And the trim around the windows, that is also shipping container snowmobile crates. Actually, I think those were motorcycle crates, but either way, same idea. So that is an idea there for you for outside paneling, wall paneling. I guess you could even use that stuff for inside paneling. Another alternative. Not too many people think about using roofing as siding, but it works. Now on this side of the building we have plywood with wooden strips. Well, they are actually strips of plywood that were used for concrete forms. Guy was throwing them out after stripping his concrete forms off, and all I did was pressure wash the little pieces of concrete that were left on them and covered up every little gap with a little strip of wood. And that's what this wall is. That wall, part of the wall up there, where the rain and the snow and everything come off the roof, is a shiplap made out of, well, you guessed it, pallet boards. They're overlapping so that it sheds the rain and the snow and any ice or buildup or anything. And it covers up the fact that that was 8 feet high and the plywood's only 8 feet long. So, yep, that's another part of it. Now even the stairs here, posts are old fence posts. The deck itself is pallet boards. Sometimes you find pallets that the nails come out really easy. If you find ones that the nails come out really easy, make a mental note of them. Try to find more of them, because they're not usually a real thing. But on the occasion, these ones happen to be from a nursery where they box up all the plants and they build their little square pallet things out of cedar. So this decking came from those, and so did the doors. That cedar was reclaimed from the shipping crates that they ship plants to nurseries in. It's looking pretty ratty right now because the dog has scratched the crap out of it and the goats headbutt the bottom of it to try to get in while you're in there. All the trim and everything on this building was once the shipping containers, shipping things for the snowmobiles. And I'll show you what else you can do with that stuff on the inside here. Now this place is currently a serious mess, but you'll get the idea. The walls in here are all either fence boards, pallet boards, or fence posts that have been ripped into 1x3, not 1x3, quarter by 3. I don't know if you can see how thin they are. Held in with brad nails. Labor intensive? Yes, very labor intensive. Does it look good? I like it. We haven't finished the ceiling in here yet because we haven't decided what we're going to put for ceiling, but again, the trim is Sosuji Bond. Take the board, burn it, turn it black. Don't have to paint it no more. If you do it properly, you don't get ick all over you when you touch it, because you haven't really charred it. And the doors themselves are that nice cedar. The inside looks good because nobody's been jumping at it and scratching the crap out of it, but yeah, if I had better camera skills, then you could probably see it better, but I don't, so be it. I won't show you the other end because it's just my sewing machines and stuff, but yeah, give you an idea. Some of those boards, if you look really, really close, they were treated fence posts, and they got that really weird look to them because you can still see where the treating was in them. It makes this really neat pattern on the wood. Yeah, there's another one there. Pretty much just randomly put all over the walls. Kind of gives you that sauna cabin type of look, but that's an alternative for you. This here's the back side of my studio. Again, pallet boards cut into shingles. Nothing super special. The windows were the glass out of a display case from an old jewelry store. You know, the shelves that they have that you're not supposed to lean on and you're not supposed to touch the things inside because they're really expensive. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Those windows are built out of those shelves. Most of that timber framing look is just timber framing look because this is on a trailer, and this, well, if it was allowed to be, it would be a tiny house, but due to our building regulations around here, you're not allowed to live in it. So yeah, it's on a trailer. It can be moved around, which if you have the opportunity to build a shed or a building or something on a trailer, kind of sounds like a dumb idea to some people, but this thing has been moved around the yard probably 20 or 30 times now because we never quite decide where we want it, and it's always nice to have a different view when you're looking out the window while you're doing your editing. So there you go. That whole building, including the trailer, has cost me probably $400. I bought the actual roofing for it, but it was at a scratch and dent sale, so the roofing was less than a third of what it would have cost normally. And I'm pretty sure that's about all I paid for was the roofing and some of the hardware. A lot of the nails and screws and stuff. Oh, you can see that the goats have been whacking at that stuff. Yeah, I guess I should fix that. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. So there you go, guys. Different alternatives for you for building materials. Now I'm sure your government entity has different ideas about what you can use for what and blah 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 blah, all that stupid bureaucratic crap, but here's some stuff that maybe you might not have thought about. So until next time, guys, use what you got, even if it's just pallets, to make what you want, and I'll see you later.